Cool. So people who are watching this recording, I'm so sorry I started this late, but this is the first slide where your attention goes, energy flows. But we'll start from the next slide because that's more important. Okay, cool. So we learned about thought and feeling loop. Let's understand what actually these thoughts and feelings are because we keep using these words. These are my thoughts. I'm thinking about this. This is what I think about myself. What are actually thoughts? Whenever you have a thought, there are certain neurons that are fired in your brain, small neurons. And the more you think of a thought, a neural connection is formed. You can think of small dots that keep connecting. And the more you think of a thought, they make a very strong connection. So, whenever a neuron is fired, that is, whenever you have a thought and a neuron is fired, it generates electrical charges in your brain. Okay. Now, whenever a thought comes, there's always a equivalent emotion that will come with it. Your brain will have a thought, it will create some chemical response in the body. That chemical response in the body will create an emotion or a feeling within you, a sensation within you, or probably some hormones will release. And when that particular feeling creates another thought, it leads to a release of magnetic charges. Feeling, that's why, is always associated to heart. If you know that whenever there is like heart test that happens, they always do ECG, that is, they give you that shocks. So they're generating those waves within. So these are the waves that we are talking about. So your thoughts, when they're generated, they have electrical charges, they generate a magnetic charge, and together they form a measurable electromagnetic field around you. We all have that. We can't see it, but we have that. We call it in different words: aura, vibrations, energy field. But that is electromagnetic field that we have, and it has certain vibrations and frequency. So the state of being, that is the thought and feeling, the frequency or the vibration, or we can, the simplest terms is the negative or positivity it holds, it creates those kind of vibrations in your electromagnetic field that I'll come to next. But this is how your electromagnetic field looks like. Literally, you are sitting there and you have a field around you. Okay. Hi, Deepti, you have just joined in.
Yeah,
Cool.
I
I was just saying a
no,
very quick.
joined earlier, like
Oh, you
just
joined
one
earlier. Oh, I just saw the video, so I thought you joined in. Cool. Now, so think about it like this. You all have seen FM radio, how that works. When you put it on a certain frequency, 92.7, red mirchi, and all of that, it will catch that frequency music and you can hear it. The same way, your body is always broadcasting a frequency or a vibration. In the same way, when it's broadcasting, it is also receiving these electromagnetic field. This also holds a lot of information, ideas, and this, how to say, it's just information that is there, that you keep receiving and you keep emitting in terms of energy, maybe. So if you think about it, when you are in a room and somebody enters and you can feel this person has a very strong, you call it, this person has a very strong energy. It's not just the body language, you can actually sense the aura of that person as well. That is that person's electromagnetic field, the kind of strong thoughts that the person has. And also, if the person maybe entered and they are really angry or really frustrated about something, you can also sense that. It's because we all can sense electromagnetic field. Some people can sense it more, some people sense it less, depending on how aware are we with our body sensations or body energies. Okay, so just like FM radio, we are all broadcasting or receiving certain information. For example, and now, which means if you are feeling fear, you are broadcasting fear outside and you receive back the same frequency experience back to you. If you're feeling grateful, we broadcast gratefulness outside. And the more our body stays in that broadcasting vibration or frequency, we receive more situations that make us grateful. And these emotions, they actually have a frequency, which is this. Shame is at the lowest frequency, 20. Guilt, 30. Fear, 100. Anger, 150. Acceptance, 350. Love, 500. Peace, 600. This is measurable. So in your electromagnetic field, if somebody measures, so 20 to 1, I think this 100 to 125, they are contracted energy. So electromagnetic field might be shrinked in these vibrations. But if you go from, till 150, 175 to 700, it's expanded and people can feel it. So the question isn't just what you are thinking, it's about what you're feeling. So when I say in visualization, right, that feel it. More than thinking, it's about what are you feeling and what electromagnetic vibration are you giving out. So according to you today, where on that scale would you say your emotional state is right now as you sit here? What are you really feeling? What frequency are you in?
For me, I'd say around somewhere between neutrality and willingness.
Hmm. Awesome.
Yeah, same. 250 to 310.
Good.
Yeah, like I'm just feeling neutral. Like when you just asked me, I'm just feeling very neutral. Yeah.
Yeah. So check with always, like, what is that constant state of emotion that you are in your days? What is that? If you can always see in your relationships, if you hold a certain constant emotion within you, ask yourself, do I attract the same kind of emotions from outside as well? If in career you feel a certain way, for example, money, right? If you feel a certain way about money, maybe you feel, let's just say, fear with money, 100. Do you see that whenever money comes to you and the people who show up in your life have the same frequency that they hold around money? Or you keep feeling the same feeling? Maybe you see somebody really rich and they keep making you feel the same way as you feel now. And this is where I'll bring a little part. So manifestation word, right? It's very used word. What it means. Manifestation, it just means that whoever we are, whatever the state of being we are in, we attract things in the same or matching the same state of being. We attract the things that are vibrational match to us. So if we stay in a very familiar state of being or a frequency, we'll keep attracting the familiar things in our life and nothing much changes really. If we always stay in state of disappointment maybe or fear, we keep attracting more experiences around that. If we stay in maybe love frequency most of the time, we see people around us who give a lot more love. And that is just what manifestation is. It is just that we have a certain vibrational frequency. We give out that feeling out in the world. And when that feeling goes, we attract the same vibrational emotion related things in our life. That is what just manifestation is. Nothing else. It's not about आज मैंने कार सोचा और कल कार मिल गया. Okay, I thought about this job and job aa It's not really, it's not about what we want. It's about who we are being in the moment to attract that thing in the life. Okay. Any questions until now? Or am I explaining it clearly?
I just wanted to ask you
Yeah.
one thing. Like, we might not be in a like certain like we will not be in a very positive state every time. So there might be some negative things that comes into us. So, like, how does that work? Like, since it is about manifestation, like, how does that work? Because we can't be in a certain state every time. Like, we can't
Yes.
just give that vibration every time, like positive vibration every time. So we'll have that negative thing here and there. So, like, how does that affect us? That is something that I want to know.
Right. And that's a very good question, right? Because as humans, we cannot be always in that high state. We cannot. That is true. But the question is about what is that constant state always that we are in, always, right? If every day we quickly get disappointed, we quickly let one part of the day spoil the whole day or make us go into that kind of grief every day, then the electromagnetic field, it's broadcasting the same emotion every day. So we have to ask ourselves that probably in a week, how many days did we stay in the emotion and we did not let us come out of it? It's not about not feeling the negative emotions. It's about how quickly can we bounce back using certain tools for our own health, right? It's like because the thing is, you can always never be even in a high state emotion. Never. You have to come down to that groundedness. Energy always come back to its balance. It cannot be destroyed, it cannot be created. It's always there. It's always balances itself. So whenever you are in a on a high, you'll always get to the low because it will balance. Have you seen that there are very big functions and something bad will happen? And then it will feel like some balance okay, like there's a marriage happening and something will happen that will balance the energy out. So you will see, you will never have a really high moment in your life. Something would be happening on side that will always get you to ground. And it's true for even the lowest of lowest emotions. You might see whenever you are in the lowest emotion, something might come which you would not have expected and it would get you balanced. Always notice the high and low extremes of your life. Energy is always balancing itself. You'll always come from a low to neutral and from a high to neutral ground. So there's a rule that I made in my life was I give myself this benefit of this thing where I say that 70-30 ratio. Most days I try to stay in 70% neutral or positive state and 30% I allow myself to feel whatever I want to feel. And this is very intentional for me. If I know, for example, 1 or 2 days, it's fine. But if I know if I'm going more than 3-4 days and I'm not coming out, then I'm choosing to stay in that familiar state of emotion. I'm choosing to give away the power to the external situations rather than being in my power to say that, Parul, you can come back to this emotion. It's okay. Or you can come back and work on yourself and feel good about it because nothing stays the same. So that's the answer that no, you cannot be always in positive state, but the point is to keep coming back to that neutral state for yourself and appreciating small things in your life. For example, if I'm intentionally manifesting something, for example, you're manifesting a career, then you have to be intentionally choosing to have a vibrational match to that certain thing. That is when you are really intentionally manifesting. If you're not, then it's fine. Cool. Okay. Okay. This is the graph that we saw or the picture that we saw earlier as well, where we are building up future from the past. That is, we are creating a predictable future from past. Now, let's understand in terms of energy as well. If our attention go or if our energy flows where the attention goes, then if my thought and emotion are constantly thinking about a past memory, maybe a regret, a failure, a resentment, something that maybe is hurting me, my energy is flowing there. That is my present. I have only a limited reservoir of energy, and I'm thinking about past. I'm leaking my energy into the past. And on the other hand, if I am thinking about tomorrow and I'm being anxious about a meeting, about money, about relationships, why I'm not getting this, why I'm not getting a hike, why is this person or what is this person going to say tomorrow? What is going to happen? Then we are leaking our current energy into the future. And if you really ask yourself in your day how much of your energy you are leaking into your past or future, because the moment we wake up, we have our phones, the Slack pings, we are like, oh, today there are 3 meetings. This is what I need to do today. I have to complete these 5 things. I have to go shower. There's no time. This person I am to meet today, I don't really like this person. What are we doing? Every moment of the day, we are leaking our energy. And by the end of the day, we really don't have the energy to create something in the present. That's why this is a question that I hear a lot, that I don't get in the zone of creating. There's only limited times when I feel like I can create something, I can get into my creativity, or I can get into the flow and something really comes out. It's because the energy that we need to create in the present moment is already drained by having our thoughts and emotions either in the past or future, something that has not yet happened right now. And so we are not working in the present. So, which means by the time you actually want to create something new in present, you have already spent most of your energy on things that aren't even happening right now. Right? And everything in this world is actually about energy. We need energy. We consume food because we need energy. To work, we need energy. To work out, we need energy. To have a loving relationship with someone, we need to have energy. Because the moment we are drained or low, we don't want to move. We don't want to participate, talk, or do anything. So, energy is actually time. We say time is the currency, but actually, if you think about it, energy is the currency because you have time. And in that time, to make it worth, you actually need energy, right? So, the point now is how can we call back our energy in the present moment? That is, how can really we be in present moment? Hmm. I'll take a pause here and drink some water, which I don't have. We have here. Okay. Any moments for you guys where you feel like, oh, I did not think about this?
So when we wake up right in the morning,
Hmm.
if we are thinking about the entire day, like which is our usual routine,
Yeah.
like what are the meetings, or what we have to do, whom to meet, is that something that comes under past or the future or the present?
It's actually, if you see, you have the answer in your own question if you really see.
And I couldn't think about it.
Because if you are planning something ahead of your time, it's actually future, isn't it?
Hmm.
And maybe if that planning has an emotion attached to it and the emotion is coming from past, that is, you know that there's a meeting with my manager and the meetings normally do not go well, then there's emotion attached to it. Maybe the emotion is of you are repelling, maybe that repel emotion is that I don't want to go and talk to that person today. So somewhere you are thinking about a future, but you are thinking about it from a past emotion point of view. There's already a familiarity with that particular situation in your mind. So you have given your energy to that particular thing that has not yet happened, but we have made it happen already in our minds.
But that in a way helps us to plan for those meetings, right? Like if the meeting usually doesn't go well, we'll have to do something which makes it work
Hmm.
to an extent.
Okay. Really ask yourself, is that true? Because if you don't know from your past perspective, would you not do the same thing in the same way if it's not coming from negative emotion? Or is that logic we are giving ourselves that we need to know? Because it's not about the person, it's about the work, actually, isn't it?
But sometimes it involves person's behavior
Mhm.
also.
Maybe we are seeing the behavior in a way that only we want to see as confirmation bias,
Okay.
right? We only see people in a way we want to see, not in actual way that they are sometimes. So
And what if
when
the entire team feels the same way?
then you are in the same group, you're talking about the same things. And maybe if there's someone who is just looking at the work in a certain way and can look at a different point, they will stop examining the person and they'll start thinking, what's the strategy? How can I deal with the problem rather than the person? That rarely happens because we are always dealing with people. There always something that would be associated with people. So we need to really think, can we really deal with a person? Because what's really happening is you have a certain way of working, and when there's a person, we start molding the way we work according to the person. But who is at loss is the question. Because we are changing ourselves based on somebody else. So who have we given the power to? We actually gave away the power to someone whose behavior we do not like,
Mm.
right? And that's, we don't question these things, but this is something that we do. We don't even ask these questions to ourselves because we know we make 35,000 plus decisions a day. Our brain has made these cognitive biases, and these cognitive biases allow us to make a decision a certain way. And we do a lot of things coming from those biases. And we don't ask ourselves this question. And we forget that maybe we are coming from an ego and point of view, even when it's costing us, not anybody else, right? So where are we giving that energy to? Because we will be frustrated even when we are presenting. Yes. And second question is that, yes, it's required. Planning is required. It's not that planning is not required, but how much part of your day are we keeping open to have something unknown or unpredictable in the day? Last time, when was the time when you actually created space for having something unknown or uncertain in your life? We are not used to it because the moment we think about unknown now, we feel fear because it has become so unfamiliar and uncomfortable for our brains. Although future, the word future is supposed to be something unpredictable and not predictable. It was supposed to be something unknown, but we have made it predictable because we like to be in safety. But this safety is keeping us stuck now. not helping us move into newer things in life or something greater than us if we want to, right? Yes. So yeah, where attention goes, energy flows. So the point is to get your attention back. That is, when I talk about attention, I'm talking about calling your energy back. It's very hard in this today's world because we are living in this world. We are surrounded by people only. This is how the world works. And we are going down that drain with everybody else because this is how the world works. And we are losing ourselves in the process. We are not questioning many things about ourselves. We are looking only at the outside things rather than the inside things. And what we want, what we feel, what we think, how I want to live this life. We've forgotten to ask these questions. That these are the inner level questions. I'm losing the track, but get your attention back. Just call your energy back. The sweet spot of the generous present moment, which is when you are actually in present moment, you don't have a familiar past or you're not thinking from the familiar past and you don't have a predictable future. And that is the moment where you are ready to create possibilities in your life. And that is something that we are not doing physically. It's very hard. So when we actually, visualization is one of the method. I'll come to it later. But present moment actually means the space that you have only with yourself, where your connection with the outer world is broken. You're not thinking about what is the next plan, how would I do this, when is the money coming, when is my career changing. We're not thinking about these things. We are just in the moment, staying. And that is the moment we start getting our energy back. And we all know, one of the method we all know is meditation. Yes. What does meditation do? Now, we all know we should do meditation, but what does actually meditation do? Yes, meditation brings us in present moment. And in this present moment, what we get is a lot of thoughts. And this is the moment where you actually break the energetic bond with a past thought or future thought. This is something that we cannot do as we are running through the day because there are so many distractions. Our senses are always taking in a lot of information and our brain is not empty and we cannot do it. So first is meditation. When we sit to meditate, in the initial part of the meditation, 1 minute, 2 minute, you start seeing those thoughts that usually come, the familiarity. Oh, I forgot this. Oh, did I close the gas? Oh, what did that person say? The thoughts will start coming. And then what you do is you stop those thoughts. You start blocking, you observe, and you say, I don't want to think this. Now you are consciously choosing not to put attention on that thought. And it will come back again. It will come back again. That is what familiarity does. And we repeatedly block it. The more we do this, the more our brain learns and rewires to stay in present and cut the bonds with the past thoughts and the future thoughts. We start taking the power and energy back from those thoughts. Because if you see, we have to cut the bond with the thought and emotion both. And the moment when we can stay neutral, sitting with our body, cutting that thought, we tell our brain that this is not important. And when we repeat it, our brain learns. So the first thing is meditation, which is bringing ourselves to the present moment and cutting those bonds with the thoughts. That's why meditation is really strong in terms of bringing you to those calm moments. This, if you know about brain waves, we in our day, we are usually in beta waves. Our brain is always in beta waves when we are, and in beta waves also there are three layers to it, three levels to it. And the third level of beta is whenever you do something and you're really anxious, fear, those high level energy beta waves. And when you are in those level of brain waves, you're always on edge. And most of us these days, we are in that level of beta waves. So when we go into meditation, we are taking ourselves into alpha. And then there's a state where our body is awake, but mind feels like it's going to sleep. That is our theta waves. And then there's gamma waves. So in meditation, how deeper you go into deeper waves of meditation. And so when I say past and future thoughts, they're actually beta waves, and you keep cutting the beta waves, the entry to it, and you keep going into alpha wave brain state. And that is when your body starts learning that let's not pay attention to this, and it starts showing you in your day as well, because now the body and mind, they are learning. Second is, how do we prime our body and mind for the new future, unknown future? That is what you are actually doing with visualizing. In the morning, when you sit with yourself, close your eyes, and you cut down with outer thoughts, and you start visualizing something that has not happened yet, a new intention, and come up with a new emotion related to that intention, is when you have started going into unknown. Now you're not doing it physically, but you have started doing it in your own mind. You are opening possibilities and you're becoming ready for the unknown in your own imagination. What happens in visualization is when you start seeing those new things that you have not done yet, but you are visualizing, your brain is firing neurons, as we talked about earlier. When it's firing neurons, for your body, it's as real as you physically doing it. And the moment it fires neurons, it will create feelings, the magnetic charges, and your electromagnetic waves, they start broadcasting a signal and start finding the things out in the possibilities that are a vibrational match to your own frequency. So if you have been visualizing for 1.5 months, and if you saw random things happening in your life, people coming and talking about opportunities, let's work together on this. It's not random. You actually were becoming a vibrational match to certain thing that you are visualizing, and you started attracting that in your life. It can be as intangible as focus, productivity, as tangible as opportunity, job, people. So nothing's really random if it's happening for you from the time you have been visualizing. You are creating possibilities in your life. That is, now you are building new neurological connections. When you do that, it will ask for new decisions. New decisions means something that you have not done before. Now you have to say yes to things that you have not done before, even with fear, and it will start creating new experiences for you. And that is when changes begin. So now you are priming your body and mind for new future. And that's why we do mental rehearsal with visualization. And we have not discussed this earlier, but this is the time where I make it magic. And I say, visualize like crazy. Something that you don't think can exist in your life, something that is unfamiliar, visualize it and let yourself feel those unfamiliar thoughts and emotions. And then see what possibilities start building up in your reality. because now you are becoming a vibrational match to that particular unfamiliar thing. So you can break the patterns of anything, of career, of relationships, of money, and everything while you do this. Yes, but it demands you to say yes, even with fear, doubt, pressure, failure, anything. It demands you to say yes to those opportunities, because that is the only time when you will step into unknown. You'll do something that you have not done until now. So, meditation and mental rehearsal with visualization is a powerful combination. First, you are cutting down yourself with those thoughts and emotions that you are not aware yet, but they keep showing up, and you cut the bonds with them, and then you visualize. They can happen separately, but these two are the main methods. If you follow Joe Dispenza, then there are a lot of other methods, but these are the easiest ones by far. Yes, I have talked about it. Your brain cannot tell the difference between real and imaginary. So mentally rehearse your future with feeling, and you will create possibilities in your life. This is the new reason that I have given you to start visualizing, and this is connected to manifestation now. Because until now, we have been very practical with this, that visualize the process, visualize what you want, and being very practical with it. But now I am saying and telling to dream big. And when you dream big, you also will encounter situations, unfamiliar situations, that will ask you to risk big. And in that moment, you will decide, do you want to step into the unknown, or you want to stay back in the same timeline? And it will come. This is the experience I have seen with me and everybody who I've worked with. So I know. So you will get that decision, and everything will depend on that. And it's not going to be so scary. It will be fun. It will be fun. I promise. So as the next month is coming and we are in mid-June with visualizing as well, now you can go crazy. Are you ready to go crazy? This is how life works. This is a game. It's a game if you really see it that way. And the game you can only play by coming into your own power and thinking that nothing really external controls you. If you really connect the dots back into your life, you will always see you were creating something in your reality. Always. The kind of relationships, the kind of careers, right? That's why even after coming from same society, same culture, we all create different futures. Even two twins cannot create the same future because their perception would be completely different and the way they live. And that's why we hold a lot of power in creating our own reality. And that's the knowing that we need within us, that nothing is really out of control. If we can have faith in ourselves and in something high, or maybe a higher power, energy, if you want, whatever you want to say, God, universe, energy, whatever you want to believe in, right? So, yeah, this is what I end with. We all create our own reality. Our identity creates the reality we live in. And so, manifestation is not what we attract, manifestation is who we are. Yay, I hope I opened some food for thought in coming days.
Uh, like, just wanted to ask you, like,
Yes.
whenever like we do that manifestation thing, just we close our eyes. Like we used to always get a thought like deep inside, like our brain. There are certain thoughts that fear us, or
Yeah.
certain thoughts just go on, and like it just pulls you like whenever you just instruct like to do certain things, but it always pulls you back to that thought, and it's really hard to come back from it, to just like go with what you're saying. It
Yeah.
really pulls back and just have that constant thought like this is what is happening. And like as you said, like future is kind of something that always relate to something with past. So I have certain experience, and it's a fear that it creates, like even if it's not fear, like happiness is also something that we experience via like past, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like as you said, like manifestation is who we are, like but that who we are, like that becoming who we are, that process is kind of really hard to just say that okay, like this is going to happen for you, this is something that is going to really get you there, or dream big. Because whenever you have the thought, instantly you have something from the past saying that this is what happened really. That is something that always stops you back from doing certain things.
Yeah.
So yeah, like just had that thing inside me to just say you this.
That is true. Our brain is wired for fear because our ancestors, they have lived in fear, right? They were always in fight or fight mode. They were always running from lions. So amygdala developed for fear. So it's there. But this is how the brain is evolved. That's what we call as negativity bias, which originates from there, right? That our brain always first looks at what can go negative because that is how it is wired. It was earlier, our ancestors, they were always living in life and death. So for them, it was a norm which should be there, right? Because they were always running for life or fighting. But for us, our brain thinks we are going into life and death by a job interview as well. But it's not actually happening, right? We are still living. We can go in the next interview.
Yeah,
But that is what the brain thinks. That is how the brain, and that's what is stored in body as well. And so there is some constant work that we need to do with ourselves to remind us that we are safe. Fear can be tackled by safety. We have to make our amygdala feel safe that, no, I'm not dying. This is just a situation and we can tackle it. Second thing is if it's coming while visualization, it's the same thing. It's showing you that these are the thoughts and fears you hold. And it's just telling you that these needs to be worked upon, right? Because maybe what we are not doing is having fun. We have made life too serious for our own good that even while visualizing, we cannot dream,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
Right?
it's
So we
true.
need to ask ourselves that why have we become so serious in life? Why? Because when we were kids and when we were not conditioned, we were happy. Maybe poor whole family was fighting and you were like, let's go play, isn't it? Nothing's changed. We're just become adults. That doesn't mean we have to become too serious. So if we can find that childlike energy back, and that is the task, if we can find that childlike energy back, this is not a hard thing to do, really. Right?
True.
So always ask yourself, maybe daily, what can make me feel more alive and childlike today? Right?
Sure.
Okay.
I can totally relate with what Deepti said because even during visualizations, like when you are like guiding us through that, okay, think this way, where are you sitting, what are you wearing, what are you feeling? It's that the first emotion that comes up is not confidence. Like even when I was going through the process visualization you did today, it was like the first emotion was still fear. It was still the underconfidence, the thing. And then the next question from you was, aren't you feeling confident? Aren't you like, oh, okay, I am supposed to feel this way. This
Yeah.
is how, because I don't want to be visualizing the same thing over and over again. Yeah, that is one thing that has really helped with the visualization. I feel like changing the thought as we are in the process of visualizing.
Yes. And that is why this is practice. This is the rewiring
Mm.
again that we are doing during visualization that can help you in your day.
Right.
So normally what I do is this is a reminder that we need to, our brain takes what we remind it
Mm.
to take. So whatever you are consuming out there, changing what you are consuming can really
Mm.
help because you can make a choice of what you let inside of you. If you take inside a lot of negative stuff on what's happening negatively outside, your brain will only make you see what's not right. But if you start consuming and changing things around you in the way that helps you consume the right things for you, your brain will start helping you with that. So fear will be there. It's not that fear, but can you remind? Because this is just visualization, isn't it? It's just visualization. We are not doing in real.
Mm.
We are not in the real situation. So we can be whoever we want to be. For example, if you really feel fear, sometimes this is a Batman effect method, which is visualize yourself as your favorite character. For example, any woman maybe in your life who you really appreciate. For me, I really like Priyanka Chopra, the confidence and the way she speaks. So sometimes I can visualize through her. I'm like, oh, what would she do? How would she feel? That's Batman effect. You can maybe create your own fictional character. Maybe Deepti's character can be somebody else. And she can draft the whole identity of that person. How does she enter a room? How confidence looks like in her? And then visualizing yourself through her. If that helps you, you should try it out. Maybe a cartoon character,
Mm.
right? So it's just visualization. Believe it's just visualization. And it has to be a game. You have to feel that if visualization was the way that you can bring magic in your life, how would you do it?
Mm.
Right? How can you have fun with it? So Ankita, I think Ankita is in our group itself. So if you remember, she visualized fireflies in
Mhm.
her trip
Yeah.
and she saw them. So she's doing that daily. She's having fun with visualizations. That today I'll see this. So sometimes I do this. I was working in Byju's, I think then, and I just joined Byju's, so I didn't know what was going to happen. So every day I would be in auto, and in the auto I would raise my emotions really up by having gratitude. So every tree I would see, I would keep saying, "Isn't it wonderful?" I would move my emotion up because I was afraid. I knew I was afraid to be there for at least 2, 3 weeks. So I'd raise my emotion up. And then I would also visualize that somebody is really appreciating me today.
Mm.
And to be honest, appreciation would really come for the stupidest of the things, for random things that I would not have thought that I did. And I would be like, wow. So I was playing with it. I was like, yeah, well, I'm having fun with it. So have fun with visualization. You don't need to be like, oh, visualization, kya hoga? No, have fun, really. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. It will again take some time to think for the fun things because most of the time it's like, okay, task things we have to complete. So again, it goes all rigid and serious. So yeah,
Yeah.
we'll definitely try with the fun things.
Yes. I released the podcast today, right? I was actually, because I knew that I had to do this podcast. So it was on my vision board. So I was visualizing it sometimes that I'm doing the podcast. I was not getting ideas because a lot of fear was inside. I also have these beliefs, right? Who will listen to the podcast? What if I don't do it right? What if it's so bad that nobody listens? I'm not creative. And all of these thoughts would come. And so I knew that it was getting delayed, but I was not letting myself get anxious. And I just kept thinking whenever I would watch somebody doing a podcast, I would just say, I am doing it. And today it just happened, like even without me putting my extra mind into it. I was writing something. I was like, this is good for podcast. I recorded, done. No fear, nothing. But for my mind, it was already done a few days back. It was actually done. And I was not worrying because I really trust this brain rewiring. I trust that how God has made us, it will work because it's working. It's working in fear, it's working in doubt, it's working in what's not going well. We are rewired. So I believe that why not? Why will it not work for things that can go well? Right? It's just brain, it's a machine. And that's how we need to think. That's we call mindset, right? Yeah. Yes. And one thing I remembered when Deepthi asked, like low emotions, the best of my manifestations happened when I was in the lowest emotion. How? Lowest emotion doesn't mean negative emotion a lot of times. You can be really low, but you can have a little hope. And also, when you are at the lowest emotion, it means you have surrendered something. That is, you have given up that I can't have the control. And the moment you leave the control, something else takes the control. And that's why you will see when you are not actually thinking and when you ended something, you'll start getting those things. I don't know, PXTB, I think Ashwant was there and when I was doing PXTB. And then when we stopped doing it, because we were working so hard to find people to come and enroll into PXTP. And the moment I stopped it and I was not thinking about it, at least 7, 8 people came in and they asked me, when are you doing the next one? And we want to join. And I was like, where were you when last 3 months I was looking for people? Right? So sometimes our energies, it's called as energy of abundance and energy of scarcity. Or scarcity might also look like desperation. So if you know that maybe if you had boyfriends in your life, so you are like, message kyun nahi kar raha hai, message kyun nahi kar raha hai, and you will never get the message that time. Because we also don't like clingy people, and energy also doesn't like clingy people. So the moment you let the energy release and you go into abundance, that okay, I'm not desperate about it, just things start coming. That is also part of manifestation. So manifestation itself has a lot of things. So what I told you was just one part of it. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, like when you're saying that, I could relate few experiences that happened in the similar way. Like when I was very low, like I things happened unexpectedly a lot. Like just like to make me happy. Like I felt like okay, this was not supposed to happen right now, but it's happening from nowhere. Yeah, I could
Yes.
relate that. Yes.
Yeah.
Like after you said all this, like I felt like it's all about the control that we are having a life to be in a very structured way because we have thought about okay, this is what should happen because this is what happening to others also in a certain way, like how we are seeing people in a certain way, and we feel like this is
Yeah.
something that should happen from my side also. So that is what is the right path. But like when we leave that control, when we just do things, just leave everything, it will happen automatically. That is
Yes,
something
it will.
that I could just relate from what you said, right?
Yeah. It's about being in the process. And once you are in the process, outcome will come. Like whenever it comes, it will come in the right time. It reminded me of an analogy I heard yesterday of there's an archery player who was giving a conference, and he said that as a person who does the archery, we don't have the surety that we'll hit the bullseye. Nobody can, but we know the process. We know how much force we need to put, how we need to hold, where our eyes should be watching. That is the only thing we know, but nobody can make sure that even if you follow the process, it will hit the bullseye. You cannot be sure. And so you trust the process and you repeat the process, you repeat the process until the results start falling in your favor. But you have to trust it, because even if you follow the process and you don't trust, it's gonna end at bullseye. It's not gonna hit at bullseye because your process is already interfered with your own thought. So that's true what Deepti said, that it's about the process. But we as humans, these days, we are getting very afraid of the process because again, our energy is leaking into future. And we want things quickly. Like we can't have patience. And patience is very important to get the best things in life. Yeah. Ah, it's 8:41. Yes. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, Deepti, Asha, you can also DM me. If you feel something during visualization that this is not working, or if you ask on group, what happens is a lot of the other people would have the same questions and they would not be asking. So that's why I said group is not one-way chat, it's two-way chat. So ask your questions there as well, right? Because we want to improve this process, improvise on this. Cool. Yeah. Any other questions before we leave? Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, I'll just take a photo and I'll give a yes. Yes. There's one thing that I just want to end this with. When I tell you these things, or when it's true, so that we become aware. It's good to be aware, isn't it? It's good to be aware that we do have the power in our hands and life is not going to stay the same and we can change it. Our life can be different as we want it to be. If we can see it, it can happen. And that's why we all see things differently, because we all have that life somewhere. It's another concept, parallel realities. I love to learn about this concept, which says that if you, whatever you all are dreaming of will be very different from each other. And it's because you can't dream or see something in your possibility if it does not already exist. So the concept is that it already exists. So it's not impossible, but you have to get into that version to make it possible. That's all. That's the hardest thing to do. Multiverse. Multiverse. Yeah, multiverse maybe. A lot of parallel realities. Cool, guys. I'll close it here. If you have any questions, anything you can share with me, do share your experience as well of the workshop. And that's all. Cool.
Thank you,
Bye.
Parul. Have a great night.
You too. Have a great night, you all.
Thank you.
Okay, bye bye.